Same passion.
Oh, would you believe it? A virtuoso strike from Dejan Kulusevski.
Same energy.
Here's Lucas Moura. Oh, they've done it! I cannot believe it!
Same love.
I want to win. I want to win the trophy, to bring success to the team, especially when you're captain and win the trophy.
Same team.
It's just who we are, mate. It's just who we are. It's who we're going to be till as long as I'm here.
Same old Spurs.
The Same Old Spurs podcast with Majestic and Gazza.
Get behind the boys and up the Spurs.
Good evening and welcome along to the Same Old Spurs podcast with me, Maj, and him over there.
Gazza.
It's like Grant and Phil are back on Albert Square. You ready?
Unbelievable.
Hello, Mum. We are back and it is Wednesday evening. I've just come straight from my son's football.
I tell you what, you're getting fully invested into that kid's football
mate,
now,
I
aren't you,
am.
mate? I saw you up and down on the touchline at the weekend with your dad.
Stellini.
Yeah, Stellini.
Stellini and Conte.
Brian Kidd, old school.
Yeah, we've been away for a while, but now we're back. Sounds like I'm about to spit some
I
lyrics.
tell you, we've said that and half a few times, and we've had more comebacks than Sonia and EastEnders.
I know. Do you know what? It's nice to be back, though. It's lots to talk about, and we've left it so long that we can just overall look at the picture of Spurs right now. Currently 14th in the Premier League and the quarterfinals of the Europa League.
Yeah, quarterfinals.
Or was it? No, or last 16.
No, quarterfinals.
Is it quarterfinals already?
Yeah.
Wow. Do better.
Mate, it's been one of them little times at periods as a Spurs fan, isn't it? You know what I mean? How invested is anyone?
Well, so invested that I was over Spurs on Sunday, Gaz, for the Legends match.
Oh, you love it, didn't you? I tell you what, you did give me the invite there to come over there, get myself in a box. What was it like?
Well, yeah, I did get myself a box at the weekend. My box actually is next to James Maddison's box.
Is he still got that? He done all that artwork and
Yeah,
in the beginning.
So that's how I clocked it. I looked and I kind of moved to the side. I looked in and I think, that's Maddison's box. So all the kids were excited. They all jumped in, got a photo in there and that, didn't they?
He has that about him, doesn't he? Do you know what I mean? He has that about him. Everyone wants to be around him.
But yeah, so it was the Legends game at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium on Sunday. Some of the players on display for the Tottenham Hotspur: Gomez, Michel Vorm, Basong, Kabul, Aso Akoto, Dawson, Ledley King. You had Tanio, Alan Nielsen, Chimbonda.
Basong, I see him there.
Yeah, Basong, you mentioned Basong already. Lennon, Berbatov, Keane, Defoe, Teddy Sheringham, Falcao. It was a load over there, but for AC Milan, a couple of names that stood out. Cafu was there, and Pirlo.
Unbelievable.
Did you see Pirlo's free kick?
Of course I did.
So I saw Pirlo at the Spurs stadium. See if we could get a picture up of Pirlo. It says me and Pirlo there.
He pulled you up apparently for the pic, didn't he?
Well, he said, hang on, can I have a picture with the world's greatest playmaker? I said, wow. Ask Gazza. No, but yeah, what for me, that was almost, that's up there with being a Zinedine Zidane. When you think of Pirlo, I think of the Panenka against Joe Hart.
I like to make comparisons with the players of today in that position. Oh, come on, mate.
Light and day.
Come on, mate.
He started life as a number 10 and then became one of the best holding midfielders in the world.
Absolutely sensational footballer. Played the game at his pace. And that free kick there, mate, at the highest draw.
I know. The thing is about the game on Sunday, the Legends match, it was so enjoyable over there, Gaz. Because you know it's not been nice over there, is it?
It's been terrible. Let's get real. It's been absolutely terrible.
It's been horrible. But that game, you saw a link-up play between Berbatov to Lennon to Keane and Defoe, and it just made you think.
Aaron Lennon looks and still moves exactly the same.
I know. We
Genuinely mean that. And obviously, look, he wouldn't be able to do it now. It's easy to say, we get him down and get him back in the team. No, he wouldn't be able to do it. Like, he played for Burnley and he wouldn't be able to do it. You know what I mean? The game does move on. But that goal as well from Jermaine Defoe.
Oh, yeah.
Just pulling the trigger, low trajectory, out your feet, bang, bottom corner. Don't see it, man.
Don't see it enough,
do not see that. 20 yards out in the back of the net. Another goal that I saw at the weekend because it seemed to be like a Legends weekend, didn't it? Chelsea played.
Oh, Peter Crouch. Yeah, for Liverpool.
A cross, picked up on halfway inside the attacking area, half of the pitch. Put it over, bang. Don't see a match.
You don't. But it was thoroughly enjoyable. Nice to just sort of be in a Spurs environment and enjoying it because, as I said, it has got very toxic over there in recent times. Thank you very much.
Sponsored by Diet Coke.
Sponsored by Diet Coke.
How much am I getting paid for this?
You get a free cup, as you see there. So, yeah, it was nice to go over the Spurs and enjoy it for what it was. We're going to talk about a few different subjects on the show today. if you are watching on YouTube right now, thank you very much. We'll probably have a chat full of people. Big shout out to those. With lots of Ange-outs already, of course.
Nah.
But we'll talk to you guys at the end of the podcast because, of course, a lot of you do like to ingest the podcast via audio purposes only, so we won't get too over-invested in YouTube tonight. But please keep talking in that chat, and we'll come to you at the end of the show. It's Maj, it's Gaz. We are back. It's SOS, and we're back after this.
The Same Old Spurs podcast with Majestic and Gazza.
That's right, Maj and Gaz back once again, like the renegade masters that we are, here to talk SOS. You know what, Gaz? I've had so many people asking when we're back.
Yeah, I know. It's been
When I'm bumping into people at Spurs, where's the SOS going?
it's been really tough, isn't it, Madge? Like not just.
Linda, SOS ain't been on for weeks. What are you up to?
No, I've had it. Loads of messages coming in, but it's been a real tough period for us, isn't it? As fans for the club. And it's been easy to say no, innit, Madge? And what I mean by that is say no to doing one. That's what I mean, because
You're not catching Gazza out after 8 p.m. for Spurs right now.
No chance, mate. No
He's in
chance.
bed.
And it is that because you do give up a lot of your time. We've been doing this for a few years, and
5 years, mate.
do you know
5
what, mate?
years.
I've loved it. I have enjoyed it. I love doing it, and I enjoy it. But you can't. At this moment, look, it's probably the worst. It's one of the worst seasons I've ever enjoyed as a fan.
You know what it is?
Statistically, it backs it up.
I think because where we have been in recent times to where we are now is why it's highlight. Can you give me some Premier League stats for Ange, please?
Well, look, Ange Postecoglou is the talk of on everyone's lips at the moment, everyone's mouth. Is he going to remain at the football club?
Whoa, guys. Ange has just come through the door. He wants to fight us because you're criticising him. That's what he wants to do
ridiculous,
right now.
Yeah.
Come through the door. Oh, mate,
The
come
entitlement,
on.
that one there when he had that interview there with the saying about there's not too many jobs.
Mate, forget the interview. The fact he tried to fight a fan.
You're on an absolute fortune.
He did a big goal.
You earn a fortune. I see him a lot going to work in his Bentley. He's loving life.
He's not in a Mondeo, is he?
You face them questions.
You're not in a Mondeo,
and you
pal.
answer them accordingly. Yeah. And do you know what? I think there's not enough of them.
And why are there questions,
I don't think there's enough
Why
questions.
are there questions?
You look at Ange Postecoglou, 67 Premier League games. Yeah, Madge. 30 wins, 10 draws, 27 defeats.
It's terrible.
27. We scored 129 goals, let in 104 goals.
I would like to see what Sean Dyche's stats at Everton are in terms of losses over the period of time he was there. I bet it's less than Ange.
He's been a bit vocal lately, isn't he, about money spent by other managers and obviously Vincent Kompany. So yeah, look.
Well, Vincent Kompany going down with Burnley and then ends up getting the Bayern Munich job. I keep Burnley in the Premier League for 10 years to get the Everton job. No one's eating nails for Vincent Kompany. They are for me.
You know what, though? Who gives him a chance, Sean Dyche, now? Because the football's gone. Like there's so much onus on a philosophy and a style of play. Who gives someone like Sean Dyche a chance in football? Probably someone in the Championship looking to come up, maybe. He's going to be operating at that level. But Spurs, 14th in the league match. You know what I mean? On the same points as West Ham, who are 16th. The only thing that separates the two teams is goals. Tottenham got a better goal difference. Tottenham's next two fixtures before the Europa League game. Chelsea away. You know how it's been at Stamford Bridge, and Southampton at home. Tottenham haven't beat any of the bottom four teams at home in the Premier League this year, so that's not a shoo-in. It's been a disaster. And like as for this Ange ball, like the biggest myth, like for a long time in football for me, non-existent. So easy to play against, so open. You can cut through Spurs like a knife through butter, and everything is summed up by the last game we played, Fulham. The first half, 3 touches in the opposition box. Yeah,
not Ange ball, is it?
Not shots.
It's not Ange ball, is it?
Not shots. 3 touches. It fell off a cliff at that football club, and he's very, very fortunate to have been in the job for as long as he has been.
But why is he still there, guys? That's what I'm asking.
Because I think that they're giving him the Europa League gig. I don't know why. I think Tottenham have got to play for Spurs to win that Europa League. They're going to have to play 5 fixtures match. Now, not necessarily in every single one of them, you're going to have to get too much of a positive outcome in terms of a handsome win, if you like. You might be able to lose a game 1-0 or draw a game, but you're going to have to be competitive over 5 games, more than competitive to get to yourself to a final. I can't see that. Imagine, I can't see that with this group under him. So yeah, it's a real big issue. But you look at it, who is there to turn to as an interim role? I know you've been very vocal about Harry Redknapp. Why not?
Yeah.
No one can make an argument for me that Harry Redknapp could do a worse job. No one in the world.
No.
No, you couldn't. How can you make an argument Harry Redknapp could do worse than what we're currently
Because
seeing?
I just think we've got the players there, right, and the ability, but I just think there is
It needs 6 months of the arm around the shoulder
That's
match.
it, yeah.
Don't worry about the long term for the moment.
No.
We've got the Europa League on the line. It needs that. And I think for his man management as well with certain individuals has been terrible. And a player that I will pick out, and that is James Maddison, for example. I don't know if you want to come in here, Madge, but for me, Tottenham Hotspur Football Club, nowhere near good enough to have him on the bench.
No way.
We're not that club. Yeah, we're not good enough. And I looked at it, our leading scorer in the Premier League this year, what's he got? 9 goals, 5 assists, leading goal scorer alongside Brennan Johnson. Off the back of that Alkmaar game, yeah, where he's influential in a great goal, the third one, and notches himself in the game.
Yeah.
To be sub against Fulham, Madge, he must have had an inkling, the manager, that he's not going to be involved with England. We're not in the FA Cup this weekend. Madge, how is he not in that starting lineup? The big moment in the game for Spurs, chance-wise, comes for Solanke, who lays it on.
I know, James Maddison.
It's unbelievable.
I just don't understand if we are to believe that the reason why James Maddison came to Spurs is because Ange called him and told him about the plans to now never finish in the 90 minutes. When James Maddison is the type of guy, he ain't going to give you legs and legs and legs and legs. But what he's got is one drop of the shoulder to change the whole dynamic of a game, in which he did against Alkmaar.
Yeah, absolutely. He
And-
plays.
And the thing is as well, what we lack mostly in this team is creativity, in my opinion.
Yeah,
right?
spot on.
And we have no reason, rhyme or reason, to not have James Maddison being a maverick. And in actual fact, Ange's going to say, Basuma or whoever's alongside him, listen, you do his running, because he's going to do what he does. But you need to make sure that if he's left his man, you get him, because I need him in a forward position.
Yeah.
Or even, sometimes he's too far forward. He's better deeper, in my opinion, because he can see the game in front of him.
Yeah, I agree totally with that match. Like Tottenham haven't got enough top footballers at the club. That's it. You know what I mean? Kulusevski's done well for us this season, isn't he? He has. He's probably stepped up off the back of a difficult campaign for him last year. But we haven't got too many outstanding footballers. He creates things. He makes things happen. Yes, I'm not going to defend it. I'm not going to defend some of his individual performances this year because they haven't really been good enough. But we're not good enough for him to not be playing consistently.
Absolutely. And I just think, I feel like the type of player that Maddison is, and he seems to still be the poster boy, and he's a senior member of the team, and he's a vice captain. I just feel like there is something there between him and Ange that doesn't sit right.
I agree. And there's too many players who are not performing. I'm looking at the left back, Kadugi. What's happened to him? What's happened to that boy? Now, I know he's been out injured, and he's had to come back, but looks miles off.
He really
Absolutely
does.
miles off it. You're looking at like Pedro Porro. Well, look, I'm not being funny. There's these cards here. He's flicked over there. I've pinned him off. Like, he can't pass a football.
No.
Like, what's happened to him? Like, I'm not being funny. Like, he wasn't this bad, was he?
No, he really wasn't.
Like, Spurs as well. In like, for me, in the summer, like, you've really got to address that central midfield area and go and get bodies in there, like enforcers, people who can do a little bit for you there in that area physically, because it's so easy to get through that midfield. And it's been like Sarr pops in there for a game, Basuma comes in there for a game. But I look at that little model there at Newcastle in Joe Linton, Gumieres, and what's the other fella's name there, Talali. That's got a bit of everything. That's got a bit of both, and I think you need that.
But what's the difference
Really do.
between a Joe Linton that came to Newcastle almost like a striker, very similar to Moussa Dembele when he came to Spurs, to being one of the top midfielders in the Premier League right now, to Basuma, who came to Tottenham as one of the best midfielders in the league, to how bad he is now, Eddie Howe.
Yeah.
Eddie Howe's improved the players that have gone to Newcastle United.
Absolutely, you could probably put that a little bit of mixture of a bit of mentality there, hunger, desire. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but the hunger and the desire.
I look at Basuma and it's all wrong.
Yeah, but the hunger and desire comes from the energy and the camp that you create. Now, this is why people harp on about Pochettino and stuff, because everything around Poch in that era seemed great. Now, when I mean like that, I remember when Ryan Mason broke into the team with Harry Kane. in that season.
Yeah.
Ryan Mason was quality that year, right? Because they were all in this thing together. It was a group.
Yeah.
Like, that group bond doesn't seem like it's there with Spurs anymore. From, as you said, even the way that Europa League night we saw them on the bench in all their fineries and that. Like, if I'm the gaffer, I'm like, no, you're all in Spurs tracksuits. I'm not letting you come wearing like Burberry hats and that. There's lots of things that I see happening that Ange doesn't have a personal man management style hold on, and that is a big problem for me.
Most definitely. It's difficult for managers now, though, Madge, in a new age, in a new era, because the type of footballers and the type of players that were around and how they were as characters and people is completely different to what we're seeing in this generation. So you got to manage differently. But you're getting paid a lot of money. You have to do that. You have to find a way to get the best out of individuals, whether that, and that's not necessarily just on the pitch, Madge. That's off it as well, and around the dressing room and around the change rooms. You know what I mean? I think he's really, really struggled with that. Madge, I sat there. I've been very, very fortunate to be invited to a couple of games this year by somebody whose tickets are just behind the dugout, and I've watched Ange Postecoglou in real great detail, and I literally not watching the game, I'm just watching him. He does nothing. And there was a time where, and then there's this comment that's been thrown around about him, about being out of his depth. The manager's out of his depth. And I've always used to thought that's just a token thing you can throw out there. But I watch him and I genuinely believe it now. I don't think he knows how to influence a football game tactically at all at this level. I'm not saying that he's not a capable football manager. But in life, just like you as a DJ, Madge, there's levels. Yeah. There is levels, isn't there? There's levels to everything. And I just think he's really, really struggles. And I think that, sometimes we come out and we get a little reaction from the players at half time. I think anyone's capable of giving a rallying call. What I mean by that is, come on, boys, come on, that type of chat. But how good are you and are you capable of tactically influencing a football game? I have my question marks, mate. And it's been proved. It's been proved.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, mate. And the thing is, it doesn't look like there's any indication or sign that he's going to change what he's doing in terms of that lack of understanding when things need to be changed, like even with substitutions, etc. Like you said, we've got no FA Cup this weekend. No. We had an international break, yeah. You're playing AZ Alkmaar, you need to get through. Then you got a big game against Fulham, right? And you changed 7 or 8 of the starting lineup.
Terrible.
Why?
Do you know why? I think he's backed himself so much into a corner with the
Europa.
What his excuses have been minutes.
Yeah.
Keep him, and what he's trying to do, trying to keep it going.
Yeah.
Because it's almost like
even though people are back.
Yeah. He's trying to keep it going because it's almost like, see, he's trying to get minutes into the players. No. And that's what's great about this game coming up against Chelsea, by the way, next Thursday, which we'll be playing.
I feel like we're going to get rolled.
Yeah, mate, look, you know that. But what's good about it is there is no excuse.
What happens if we get rolled?
Look, mate. I think that there's a call to be made there. Like, genuinely, I'm flabbergasted. I'm flabbergasted. So I could flick on a little bit, Madge.
But I just want to know when the AZ Alkmaar game.
Yeah, the AZ Alkmaar game here. If you don't mind, if you give me a couple of seconds, I did put it down here. Is
I'll have a look on my fixtures.
So it's further the AZ Alkmaar game. Yeah. You got it up there? Have you got it there?
Yeah. It's the 10th of April. So 3rd of April we've got Chelsea, then we got Southampton on the Sunday, and then it's the Europa League, the 10th of April. Now, what happens if we go and get rolled by Chelsea? Just keeps his job, we go again. There is something in football called momentum, bro.
Absolutely.
And morality, like morale. You need to have momentum and morale, especially if you're going to try and win a cup trophy, which is all about the energy of the team on the day.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be the quality. It can be the energy of the togetherness of the squad.
Agree with you totally, man.
What happens if we get rolled?
I don't know. Like I think they're going to stick now. You know what I mean? I think they would have twisted by now. But
are you Ange out?
Big time.
Yeah.
And do you know what?
Out, you know.
Do you know where I'm at with it, Kev? Because me and you have been like quite consistent. We try to be. I've given him every sort of opportunity. But what really
we even laughed in the beginning when we done. We'll lose home and away playing the Ange way.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. But do you know what got me? Right, is
him trying to fight fans?
Do you know when we had that period of a lot of injuries, and there was a lot. Yeah. And I use that little term in the face of adversity we was in. He done nothing to influence an outcome of a football match that picked us up some more points. we lost.
We are, mate.
So I just start at the end of that. I think you're no good. You know what I mean? You're no good. And that was when my head was turned for, nah, that's it for me. And then the excuses come, then the attitude comes with the fans, and you put it all together. And he's not really a nice person.
Well, that's what it feels like. I'm sure he might be a nice person behind closed doors. I don't know the fella. But the perception that he's giving off is not a very good one. Will's laughing over there.
What do you mean?
Someone said Gazza's funny.
I know that would be as well. I know that.
We'll get to that a bit later on. But that brings us on nicely to the fact that, given this difficult time at Spurs, and the international breakdown and everything, we're just a bit glad to see the back of Spurs for a little bit.
I'm quite positive so far on the pod. How long have we been going?
That coincides with Maurizio Pochettino popping up here, there, and everywhere with his Spurs pants on, his Harry Kane slippers, his Daniel Levy annual under his arm, and he's there. He's like, the moment I left the club, I felt empty. I don't know what that accent is, but it's
a good one.
You like it?
It's a high class one.
Not as good as. It's a colour thing. It's a colour thing.
Big Sol Campbell.
Guys.
Big exclusive coming soon, aren't we? Are we allowed to reveal?
No, don't. It's a colour thing. It could be a colour. I don't know. You tell me. Anyway, but yeah, Pochettino.
Big sold out.
Listen, right. First and foremost, I'm a heterosexual man. Yeah. My wife and kids, but I went to an all-boys school. Very comfortable with myself.
We are comfortable.
We are. We've shared.
Are you comfortable? We'll marry it behind the screen.
We've shared many a shower together, Gaz.
We have.
And we continue to do so.
We enjoy doing so.
You bring the Luther.
Honestly, some of what goes on in the ice, in that little ice,
in the ice bath,
in the ice room, at David Lloyd's, we have to keep that between us. So. There's a lot of rubbing over the ice.
No, but on a serious note, listen, I'm
being serious.
But you got Pochettino, who's a gorgeous-looking bloke. Yeah, lovely-looking bloke.
He looks fantastic in the suit, in all the gear.
Doesn't he just? You take him, and it's just from even a really materialistic, vain point of view. Poch in the Hugo Boss suit on the sideline. He's got the fresh stubble. Yeah, he's got the hair done. Versus Big Ange.
You got all Perez and all of the team. All the boys are back in there. All the
I know. It just looks better. Like even Conte, he had the white base shoes. As soon as you see those white base trainers, you know they got money in it because it's normally the Alexander McQueen's or something, aren't they? But it's just like...
Yeah, in my case, the Marks and Spencer.
Oh, the M&S. There could be the M&S. Right? Nothing wrong with the M&S, mate. We like M&S. But yeah, it's just like he's on there. He's on there with Andy Goldstein and Darren Bent, and they're like, oh, did you ever think you'd be going back to Tottenham after Chelsea? Oh, when I left the club, I felt empty and all this kind of stuff. And you're like, we love you, Poch. Come on. Right? What do you make of it all? Because he's the USA manager right now.
He's struggling.
I don't think he should be talking like how he's talking.
Like, I'm not being funny as well, but he's struggling with USA.
On purpose?
Just gone out of the CONCACAF. CONCACAF.
The
competition, the CONCACAF.
Sponsored by Coca-Cola.
Yeah, the CONCACAF. CACAF.
CACAF, yeah.
CONCACAF, yeah.
Is it?
Still getting it wrong.
Can I have a CONCACAF free?
CONCACAF. Yeah, anyway, he's gone out of that match. Lost in the semi-final to Panama, 1-0. Lost the third place playoff.
Good team.
No,
good team.
You see their celebration? Yeah. It's actually just like terrorised Thierry Henry. He's like, hey, I didn't know what he was doing there.
Good team.
Fantastic team. Name me one player for Panama.
Number one, Steve. Panama!
CONCACAF. Yeah, but like he's struggling there.
Yeah.
Like, do you know what I mean? They're not happy there. And I think leading up today, it's going to take one almighty compensation package to get him out of the door.
Well, that's why Daniel should have listened to my suggestion. He should have sacked Ange before the international break. He brings in Harry Redknapp. Go on, James, you're a terrific player. Oh, man, you know, I've got Crankchild and Madison back together. You know, Ben Jarney's playing as well. You're a terrific player.
Benny back.
That's all you needed, yeah? Armband. Defoe, sign Defoe up. Sign Defoe up again.
Get him back in there.
Right, get him in. Get the band back together,
yeah?
Back. Let Harry Redknapp...
Actually, they're big and small partnership.
Yeah, let Harry Redknapp win the Europa League. Because you'd love to win the Europa with Harry. You'd be so happy for him to be a legend rather than Ange, yeah? And then you go, Harry, thanks for your services. Here's a year contract. It's only
Would you give him a year? See,
No, I think this is my genius plan. You give him a year because you say after that year, Poch is coming back. So he's got the year to get it ready for Poch. So he knows he's got 1 year at his club. And he needs to leave the club in a good state for the next manager. So I want Harry Redknapp to come and develop Jed Spence, Lucas Bergvall, Archie Gray, as well as some of the older players to give them the experience. Harry Redknapp, mate, he would have been the guy.
Not too many, is there? I think there's only 2 English managers now in the Premier League.
And people go, oh, don't go back and all that kind of stuff. You look around. Okay, say we get Areola in, yeah?
Let's go through them. I've got them here, Madge.
Okay, let's go
I've
through
Got, I've got the contenders
What's
for
the
the
options,
job.
Gaz?
So I've got the contenders for the job. So look, we've touched on Pochettino. By the way, 10-3 odds on favourite with the bookies to become Spurs' new manager, yeah? Marco Silva.
Right, Fulham.
Recently defeated Spurs 2-0 at Craven Cottage. Currently 8th in the Premier League. Massive shout for European football that he might be bringing them this year. Lost just 8 games so far. That's the same as Chelsea and 1 less than Man City and Newcastle. In the
Not bad at all.
Turned it round for them. You look at the Fulham, like what he's created. They're off the field with Iwobi and good feel factor
Yeah,
going on.
man. Hey, Fulham, you know.
Smith Rowe.
Hey, Fulham was never the team, but
Hey.
now it's the team, lad.
Hey, bro.
Is that Smith Rowe?
Smith Rowe.
Oh, well, I'm going to bless me. Iwobi, innit?
Do you see him when they were doing the fashion thing?
Oh, the fashion thing. Oh, what? Cess is long, bro. It's got to go, though, against Tottenham.
You get me?
Big
But
kid.
yeah, he's creating a good good factor around the football club. 11-2 to be the new manager of Spurs. Then
Marco Silva, though, again, didn't work out at Everton, who arguably is a bigger club than Fulham.
yeah, you can definitely, yeah,
You know what I mean?
definitely. Look, Madge, you know what? In football now, right, from any point, yeah, whether it be from getting a new manager, players, everything's a risk.
Players.
There's no pool of players anymore, Madge, to select from, for example.
Yeah, but you know why?
Go on.
Is it Cannon thing? Is it Cannon?
But look, there ain't. So look, next one. A lot of people would like this man in charge.
Thomas Frank.
Andoni Iraola.
Oh, Iriola. Okay,
Yeah.
Iriola. Okay, so my one with Iriola is he's at Bournemouth. There's no pressure there. He's building a good team.
Had to turn down the Real Madrid job. Or they had to dismiss rumours of him going to Real Madrid this week.
Well,
That's a big gig.
I think personally he stays at Bournemouth till he gets like a Real Madrid job.
Yeah, mate, potentially. Like, they've got to perform. And you know what could be different with him? And this is why he needs to be choose the right time for him to move on. Because that Bournemouth team will get broken up this summer. And it'll be extremely hard for him to go again unless the recruitment's as good as it has been. Yeah. So it might just be the right time for him to sort of go, boom, I'm out. Take the opportunity now. Interesting. Then you've in 11-2 to be the new manager. Thomas Frank.
So Thomas Frank, I think, is literally like a David Moyes of Everton. You know, like David Moyes at Everton was brilliant. He's gone elsewhere. Obviously, won some Europa silverware for West Ham. But I think some managers are just suited to a club.
I agree.
I think Thomas Frank is suited to Brentford.
I think, yeah, like, he's been there since he took over in 2018 and now a mainstay in the Premier League match. Will a big club like Spurs, should they come knocking, be enough to lure him away? 11-2. Interesting, though,
Graham
match.
Potter is what I'm saying.
Interesting that Marco Silva, Iriola, and Thomas Frank all 11-2. Pochettino 10-3, mate, to be the new Spurs manager.
Look at that guy.
Fantastic guy there.
Yeah, I think
Interesting.
personally, out of all of them, I'd go back with Poch because I tell you what this club needs
I
more than
agree.
anything.
Yeah.
Is to re-energise its fan base
100.
because I think we're
I'm
out
with
of
you.
love.
Yeah.
I think with Pochettino, he's almost going to have the benefit of the doubt. So a little bit more time. If it ain't going right, then people might go, "It's Poch, man. We got you back." Remember the first season with Poch and all that kind of stuff. I think. For me, Pochettino's determination. Mate, Pochettino turned it around at Chelsea. Don't get it wrong. Don't get it wrong. It was not bad what he did with
Let's
Chelsea.
get real as well. Like, let's be honest with you. It would be extremely unlikely, even though we'd all like it, for Daniel Levy to depart the football club by the summer.
Yeah.
He's not going anywhere. So whether you like him or not, he's the man in charge. Who's best equipped to work with him?
Poch.
Probably Poch, Madge. We've already touched on about improving players, developing young talent. He's done it at Tottenham. I'm not seeing enough of it.
I agree.
Has his last few jobs been as good as what you'd probably like them to have been? No. Yeah, I don't think that he's probably. As you look at him, the USA job, did he do enough at PSG? Did he do enough at Chelsea?
He won at both of them places.
Yeah, I know what you mean about the league there, but like, yeah, I don't think he done enough. I don't think he done enough at Chelsea, but it's open to debate, that one.
What, taking just an absolute huge group of sort of randomness, and by the end of it, like getting together a European place. I don't think it was that bad.
Fair enough. Look, that's open to
And
opinion.
again, Cole Palmer, was he better last year or this year?
I think he was fantastic at the start of this year, unplayable. He's fallen off a bit though.
Yeah, but I guess what I'm saying,
But Chelsea have.
Yeah, but as he's been more Maresca'd,
Maresca, I've got
yeah.
loads of time for that.
has he
Maresca.
has he now not got the license to do what he wants, the same way Dele Alli was given a license to do what he wanted under, say, Pochettino.
Yeah, great. Look, mate, great. Just a great shout. Like, and really is.
And is that what Poch does best? Can he get around a Jed Spence? Can he get around, someone who's young, even a Tell, for example, and go, you know what, Bez? I know you.
I don't speak like that.
I feel you.
The roadman Poch on that.
I feel you. Yeah. I know about the hardships. Buenos Aires and that, blood. I was on the roads. Yeah, they don't know that about me. They think it's all Espanol and PSG, but I started off on the roads. So I know you, bro.
It's needed.
I feel you.
It is needed.
That's what I'm saying. That's what's needed.
I'm telling you.
Oh, listen, mate. So you are, right? Okay. I've got no one left, Jenny. Let's give you a go. All of a sudden, Jed Spence gets to go, man a match every week, and all of a sudden, he's doing a Coolio interview on Rio Ferdinand, sunglasses on indoors.
Unbelievable.
We talk about that.
We can do, yeah.
Because I think that's a great place to move on from.
It is
Poch developing young players. Now, our potential superstar young player, right now, the talk of the town is Jed Spence. He's been fantastic since he's come in, and we finally got the lowdown that we knew that Conte didn't fancy him because it was a club signing. We knew that. But that was never the case with Ange. So straight away, that makes me go, you're not a very good coach because you didn't see what he had.
Yeah.
You were forced into playing him, and he's gone, you know what, sunglasses are not indoors, I'm going to play.
They put it on him as well about the Ange when Ange quoted that it was a test for Spence. And I thought he dealt with that question fantastically because he didn't commit. He almost, if you look at him, it's almost like he must have been thinking in his head, what a load of crap. That was the test and all that. But he's got to say the right thing because who's the manager at the moment? Ange Postecoglou.
That's right.
Dealt with it well. From that interview, do I think he needed to do it? No, I think it was a little bit too early.
I think it's too early.
I'd like to see him be a bit more consistent on the pitch for a longer period of time.
I reckon that interview would have been due if we won the Europa League.
But I do think he made a fantastic shout when he was saying, and I do notice it now, like the player, the Nigerian lad at Forest as well, and all of the Fulham. But you're starting to see footballers' characters through social media now.
Yeah,
that is completely new, Madge. You never used to see this, and it is becoming a thing. And it's almost like they've got another life as well as football.
Oh yeah, 100%. But I just think it doesn't bode well, like the whole sunglasses indoors,
No way.
Bit of a gangster rapper vibe. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no good. But from the interview's point of view, from my perspective, I thought he handled it well. No major talking points to come away with, no takeaways to come away with that are negative.
No.
And what I took away from it was like how much he backs himself, and defensively, one-on-one, he backs himself against anyone.
He really does.
And I love that. And do you know what I mean? Because I think the game's soft. I think the game's gone soft. And I think the players that are coming through, being bought from abroad, not necessarily got that little bit of bite about them. And I think that boy has. And he mentioned like Neil Warnock there, who's got thrown at him. That little bit of school, like being working under that man, would have probably done him a world of good.
Yeah.
And he didn't say anything bad about Neil Warnock, did he?
Surprising.
He said he was all right.
Yeah.
Because I reckon that little bit of like work under him probably has helped him be where he is with that little bit of spite to his side.
Yeah, 100%. But someone who does have a bit of bite to their game, of course, is our vice-captain, Cuti Romero. And he has said a lot lately in regards to his injuries and the way Spurs have dealt with him.
Yeah, been very vocal. Look, it's no secret that Spurs, as a club, have not been happy about what's been going on off the pitch from the medical point of view. You know what I mean? They've chopped and changed the staff. And yeah, look, we've had too many players out this season. No doubt about that. There's been too many players out for long periods of time. He's been very vocal about it. What will happen to Romero, Madge? Because he's been linked, obviously, this last couple of days heavily with a move to Atletico Madrid. Atletico Madrid have identified him as the main target. You look at it, Simeone, the coach, the Argentinian connection with Romero.
So where
are you with
that's
it?
Breaking news to me, and I'll tell you what, I want to come back to that in depth because I didn't know about that.
Yeah.
That's breaking news to me.
Big as well.
Madrid. Let's just go back to Jed Spence quickly. I want to play a clip from that interview with Rio Ferdinand.
Let's be honest, you go somewhere and there'll be one or two or three or whoever that are like, you can tell, okay.
Yeah. The leaders.
That was Jed Spence talking to Rio Ferdinand's podcast around the leaders at Spurs. Now, this concerned me because I've identified the fact there's very little leaders in that group of players, yeah? this is a young player who's got sunglasses on indoors, who doesn't know who the leaders are in his team.
I've seen you with sunglasses on indoors. Will?
Not on the whole interview.
I'm joking. Look, he didn't deny it though, did he?
Oh yeah, I've probably had it for photo shoots and whatever else.
We whip the eggs up there, bruv.
I'm there. I've got sunglasses on indoors here.
That was taken from a picture inside.
But on the real,
Yeah.
it's like he's gone. Ooh. Like, you know, when we watch the overlap and you see Roy Keane in it, you keep talking about leaders. Oh yeah, the scorers is Nev, Dennis Irwin, Jamaican. There's all there. There are leaders, a lot of them. Yeah.
I think you're not spot on there.
Yeah, and he's gone.
That's the reaction, isn't it, Madge?
I don't really know you.
Nothing to think. He's having to go. I don't know.
He said Son and Madu because that's because they're the senior members. But before, people would have went.
Hun Min Song can't be the captain of Spurs next year.
He's the ambassador.
He can't be a captain of Spurs.
But that brings us on nicely to your point. You're talking about Cuti Romero.
Yeah.
And do we sell him or not? I am in the camp of selling.
Yeah, I thought you would be. I thought this would be a good debate.
The debate's simple. He doesn't want to be at Spurs. He shows me no desire that he wants to be at this football club, right? Argentina has always taken place number one, and it always does with the South American players. But him in particular, Spurs has always felt like a stopgap. While I'd do the double up, and I'd get rid of Dragusin as well because his agent does my
He
nuts.
can go, Dragusin. Yeah. He's rubbish.
Yeah, but the agent thinks he should be playing for like.
He's rubbish. The agent's rubbish, and Dragusin's rubbish.
Yeah.
But for me, where I'm at with Romero, by the way, because for me, he's got a contract till 2027.
So you get big money for him?
So I'm not in that camp. Where I'm at in the camp is that Tottenham can't be selling Christian Romero for me. I love Danzo, Kevin Danzo, and I think he's been great since coming in. He ain't no Romero. And the point I'm trying to make is that if Tottenham have had such a dreadful season, that they need to improve next year. And I think with a different manager, with a different philosophy, Madge, them two at centre half with him and Van der Ven, alongside Konate and Van Dijk, yeah, and alongside Saliba and Gabriel Arsenal, should be the best partnership in the Premier League.
Yeah, should be, but they haven't.
I don't think it's helped by the way that we play.
I agree with that.
I think they're too exposed.
I think personally, you could get the money for Romero.
Not for me.
Buy someone else in. I reckon Kev Danso and Van der Ven would make a good pairing. I like Danso.
But what I'm trying to say is that like them two at centre half with a different philosophy could be the catalyst for Tottenham moving forward with a lot of success. They're that good. You don't replace Romero, Madge. And the point I'm trying to make
is that good,
the
mate.
point. Well, that's your opinion, right? That's your opinion.
Van Dijk is irreplaceable. Christian Romero is.
Well, that's your opinion. But what I'm saying is Van Dijk is replaceable for a club like Liverpool because I think they can get that player. For Spurs, who do we get? There's better than him. No one, in my opinion. I don't think you can get better than Romero at centre half. Tottenham Hotspur. That's just my opinion. I also think that the World Cup. I also think the World Cup's in 2000.
Who's better, Romero or Dan Burns?
Romero.
By a lot.
I think that Dan Burn plays well in a certain team in a certain way.
Coming for England the other night, first game, looked like he's been playing for 50 games.
Great development from Eddie Howe. Right, but what I'm saying, hold on, just let me finish off there, Madge. My point, what I'm making is like, I think that Spurs as well. Maybe. You know, Romero, 2026 is the World Cup. He can't have a bad season next year. He won't be able to down tools. It's a World Cup year. They're the holders of the competition. Yeah, he needs to have a good year.
He's in Argentina regardless.
Yeah, but I get that. But he still needs to be playing football regularly. He can't afford to have a fall off. Look, it's just my opinion. I don't want Spurs to be seen this summer to be selling one of them best assets. I want them to be seen to be keeping their best assets and improving big time.
I hear you, but I think there's no point in having people in that team that don't want to be there. He does not want to be at the club. He spent two.
I watched Romero again, that thing, having an argument with Areola and all his technical team with the ball. Didn't strike me as someone that didn't want to play.
That's just him.
But he still.
Let me tell you something. He would be over. He'd be over 5-a-side, tonight. Having rounds with everyone. It's just him. Yeah. He's a fiery South American.
I hear what you're saying, by the way, Madge. Because
doesn't mean I don't like him. I don't rate him.
You need players. You need players that are committed to the cause and the team.
100%.
There's question marks over that, so it'd be interesting to see what happens. I hope he stays.
Get the money for him, and Mark Gay was available.
Mark Gay couldn't lace his boots.
Really?
No. Football's about opinions, isn't it? It's subjective. Everyone's got their own.
Has our defence, since Romero's came in and Alderweireld and Jan Vertonghen have got better or worse?
I think that the style of play has made it become a bit worse.
Yeah, but I just think I don't think.
I think the Poch style, by the way, of 4-2-3-1 works.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, here we go. Romero's been there for a couple of seasons now. Good couple of seasons, few seasons. Does he get into your Premier League all time?
What, for Spurs?
Yeah.
There's too many candidates there, I think.
But that's what I'm saying. So there's other people out there that will probably be better
I think
than
so.
him.
But we've done this. If you had to pick 5 centre halves, you'd probably go Toby, Jan, Ledley King, Romero, and Van der Ven, isn't it? That'd probably be
Big
your 5.
Sol.
That would be your 5, wouldn't it?
Big Sol.
So he's in with a shout, isn't he? He's only been there a couple
only
of
got
years.
space for 4.
It's either him or Stuart Nethercott. You pick who you want.
I want Colin Calderwood.
Interesting match. You know what? You're spot on though with what you're saying there.
I don't want people there
because
that
that is it. You know what I mean? You do need.
He's always thought he's better than Spurs.
Again, you look back at if Pochettino comes in, the RG mix.
That's another thing that could be possibly good.
Simeone though, match.
Romero might be his son.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like you could
Great
not
shout.
get a
Great
better
shout.
pairing than those two. It's like, hey, Dad, I'm an absolute ish house. Really? I created the word ish house. Can I sign you? Yes, Dad. Let's go. That's exactly what that is. But
interesting.
I don't know. It'd be interesting to see what the chat think.
Yeah.
If the chat are going, they'd sell Romero, keep Romero. Will a mix 50-50
Yeah, that's what
again
it
where
is, yeah.
Spurs is at the moment, because again I recognise Romero's quality, but the comments he's come out with lately, doesn't trust in the medical staff for whatever reason, and he's got good reason to by the looks of things.
But if they were to go, a new management come in, it's a clean sweep.
Yeah,
isn't it?
who knows?
Clean slate. Oh, season.
As you mentioned already, our next game is against Chelsea, Gaz. They've been quite poor since the start of the year.
Fallen off,
really
innit?
fallen off.
Madge,
Looks like they won't get top 4 by the looks of things, because I think Newcastle are stronger. I think City are stronger.
Yeah.
And we know it's Arsenal, Liverpool, and Forest, mate.
Unbelievable.
Forest are going to get top 4.
Players though, Madge. You know what I mean? You're looking at Elanga went from Man United, doing a bit for them. Chris Wood up front. You know what I mean? You've got Gibbs White.
But their defence, again, they've got that right. The big lad at the back got it absolutely.
Milenkovic, you know what I mean? They've just built it around him, and management, style of play, philosophy, no guarantees. You put it together, can it work? Might not work. Has worked for them, big time, and doing really, really well in the league. You look at Chelsea, Cole Palmer. I would say, was I with you that game, or was I with my dad at the Chelsea game? I think you gave me your ticket. I went with my dad. You was kind enough to give me your ticket. You was at TalkSport. I would say, from an individual moment, the biggest killer for me this year was that Panenka by Cole Palmer at the Spurs. I've never felt this year, honestly, the takeaway from that for me was so bad. That done me big time. That was the biggest mug off all season. And he's out of form, and we'll need him to be out of form because he can influence a game. But Spurs' record against Chelsea, as you know, is absolutely dreadful.
Shocking.
You know what I mean? Head to head, Spurs have won 56 wins for Spurs. We've lost 80 times. Yeah,
At Stamford Bridge,
42 draws in all games. Obviously, as we know, we lost 4-3 back in December. I've already mentioned the Panenka from Cole Palmer. Players coming back who are on the fringes off the back of international duty. Odegaard with 2 assists for the under-21s. Tell as well, notching twice.
I see that.
For the under-21s there. He'll be looking he'll be pushing for a starting role. Be interested to see what the team is. Kulusevski, still waiting for a little bit of news on him as to whether he's going to be available. It doesn't look like it. But as I said earlier, Madge, there's no excuses for Ange now. This is it. Like, fully fit.
I feel like we've been saying this week after week. You know, like, do you remember the Little Britain sketch where it's like, please, mister, one more. Okay, one more night.
Yeah, but do you know what I mean? But his excuse has been players not being available, too many games, etc., etc.
The other week was the pitch.
Weekend off.
That's the pitch, mate.
Weekend off this weekend ahead of the game.
No. You know what it is? SOSM have been podcasting, mate. That's what it is. Yeah, they're all in Dubai. They're having a good time in Dubai. Habibi, come to Dubai.
No, I've got no problem with that as long as you're performing.
Exactly. Mate, just to sum up quickly before we take some questions from the YouTube crew. YouTube crew, if you're listening and watching, make sure you get some questions. We're going to answer those in the next 5 before we lock off the audio. It's a difficult time for Spurs right now. It's embarrassing. You know, don't even talk about it.
Where is he?
I don't know where Richarlison is.
Where is he? Has anyone seen Richarlison?
I am now in a position where I'm like, I'm exhausted, guys.
Yeah,
I'm not even angry. I'm not even annoyed. I'm just like, oh.
Do you know what, mate? Like, without going on a deep one, Kev goes deep. I take a little bit of your medicine. Life can be difficult enough, Madge. It's challenging enough. What you don't need is that football club losing 15 games in a season. You know what I mean? With still 9 games to play. That don't help, does it?
That could get to 20. That could easily get to 20.
You know what I mean? It's the most. It's the joint most amount since 2008, as I mentioned earlier, and it will eclipse that record. Tottenham will lose again this year. It's just how many. So let's hope that all the eggs in that Europa League basket. Do you back this Spurs group to go to Frankfurt on a second leg, get a job done if they need it? You know what I mean? Tough.
No, I don't.
That's tough. You know what I mean? We could have dealt with. Could have really done with that second leg being at Spurs.
We really could have. Yeah. But we had that with this time round. AZ Alkmaar. You can't keep getting the rub of the green.
I agree. We've had a fantastic little run in the tournament in terms of teams we've had to play.
I know.
Good, bloody, it's like England in the Euros.
I know, and we still don't get it over the line.
No.
Everyone in the chat, keep those questions coming as we wrap the podcast for the audio listeners. Listen, guys, it's great to be back with you, mate.
Yeah, I've enjoyed it, man.
So much to talk about, and we will be reconvening after the Chelsea game to see exactly how that went. Don't forget, make sure you follow us where?
At Same Old Spurs Pod.
That's
on
right.
Instagram and on X, as it's called now.
X, gonna give it to you.
Go and give it to you.
Brilliant pod, guys. Great to have you back. For those that are listening on Buzzsprout or on various Spotify's and Apple Music, don't forget you can watch this podcast. Go sign up to our YouTube channel. Over 1,000 subscribers now, I believe, which is great news.
Yeah, it's good. Look,
so
mate,
please keep sharing, liking, and add your subscription. It's absolutely free on the YouTube channel. From MAJ and GAZ.
like the Spurs.
Now we're back on just YouTube only. We got some questions, Will. You can read them out to us.
Would you take Europa League and have to keep Ange, or lose Europa League and Ange is sacked?
Oh, it's a great question. It's a great question. I'll take.
Who delivered the question there deserves a shout out.
Alex.
We'll go with Alex because I don't know if it's McCarthy or McCarthy from what the Will is pronouncing there.
McCarthy.
We go with McCarthy. Alex McCarthy. Hopefully that's the right pronunciation. That is a high-class question.
I win the Europa League. And
Same here.
I need that trophy.
Do you know what? I'm telling you this because this is how starved I am. This is how hungry I am for a cup.
It's a total.
Yeah? I will take the Europa League and I'll finish 16th for the next 5 years.
100%. 100%.
I'll endure 5 bad years.
Because we've enjoyed 38.
The podcast will go well.
Go on. Will, what's this one? Richard Knight, we keep Son.
Yeah, I think he's a squad player next year.
Yeah, I agree.
You know what? Use him for key games. You know what I mean?
Couple more, Will.
George said, in the most disconnected and bad season you've seen Spurs in recent years.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Fans, what's your opinion? Has Ange killed us?
I think what Ange hasn't done well is the results haven't gone well, but he hasn't endeared himself to the fans. And you can be doing poorly, but you can come out and go, guys, it's on me, this is. I want you to stay with me because trust me, when I tell you that when we get this right, when we know this, you've seen a glimpse of what this can be.
I agree with you.
Like, you've seen a glimpse, just believe. But it's like, oh, man, who gets this kind of nonsense in their job? Go away.
I think you're spot on with that.
Romero has to go from the lads. His eyes are on Spain.
Yeah,
If someone does not want to be at your football club, do not have him there.
yeah,
Simple
no,
as.
you can definitely make that argument.
That is the argument to have.
But I would just like to think that there's a conversation to be had between him and a new manager and him and a new medical staff, which is more than likely going to be the case.
But I just want to be at the club.
I don't think you can sell, though. Do you know we used to get criticised for being like, let's go back there, for being a selling club.
Yeah.
And we used to get slated for selling players when everyone was like, no, you need to show you're a big club. You need to not sell your best players. They're on a contract,
But
they
now,
stay. Like,
now that the market's even more volatile, and it's like people chop and change all the time and move around. It's a much more global game now. So it's like even more chances.
Look, if he does leave, you're going to have to pay a hell of a lot of money.
Yeah, but that's the only one good thing. What's next, Will?
Spurs King says, do you hold a grudge against Poch for going to Chelsea?
I hold no grudge against Poch for going to Chelsea. Reason being is he wanted to come to Spurs. I know that factually, but we never called him.
I hated Poch. I'm going to be honest with you. When he went to Chelsea, I put it up on our same old Spurs socials every time he lost a game for Chelsea. I done, the old fat Frank Lampard balloon face when it ballooned up. I put it up. Do you know what? Get him back. I'll give him a big cuddle. Because that's football.
Exactly.
And that is it.
Can Brennan Johnson be improved by a better coach?
Yes, Brennan Johnson can be improved by a better coach. and Poch would be the guy.
Not for me. And that is it. In three words, not for me.
The ability is there. He just
the
needs to be
ability
coached
is not there. He can't even pass a football
because he's in a terrible system.
Yeah. But the system has got him the top scorer this year, joint top.
True.
But the bet question is, in that situation, is who's better than him? Like, who could do what he can do? You know what I mean? There's not enough. There's not enough of them. Like, it's like when you keep saying, has he done enough to start? What's the option? Basuma then,
you're
in a
right.
free. What's the option?
It is exactly that. The option for me is we know the ability Maddison has, and with someone like Maddison, it can just take a second and a moment to change a game when we
remember as well what he was doing initially was he was playing Kulu in that central role, and he was playing Johnson out wide. But Johnson's been injured, and he's had to put Kulusevski back out wide, etc., etc. And plus, you're looking at the form of Johnson when he is out there; it's not good enough. Like so, naturally, Kulu goes. The manager thinks I've got to put him back out there. So yeah, one of them one.
Yeah, brilliant. Well, listen, thank you to those on YouTube. If you haven't already subscribed, make sure you do. You can listen back to this podcast, sameoldspurs.co.uk. But from MAJ and GAZ,
up the Spurs.
Up the Spurs indeed.
The same